We live in Omaha. It's our urban home on the prairie, smack dab in the middle of our country. We're about as far away from the ocean as it gets, but we still have a big responsibility here to protect our local and global waters.
Did you know that the pollution we produce right here in Omaha can affect the waters that travel all the way to the ocean? That's because of something called the watershed. A watershed is an area of land where all the surface water like rainwater and snowmelt drains down to a single point. Watersheds vary in size and they're all connected. Even your own backyard is a watershed, and it's connected to a bigger one, which is connected to an even larger watershed.
Wow, that's a big concept to understand. Let's break it down. We all live in a watershed, no matter where you are. Omaha is part of the Papillion Creek watershed, which covers most of Douglas and Sarpy counties. So rainwater and snowmelt from all over the metro area drains into this watershed. And the streams and rivers here in Omaha act like veins in a body carrying water across terrain until it arrives at a single point. The Papillion Creek drains into the Missouri River watershed, which connects to the Mississippi River. And the Mississippi River watershed is huge, covering 33 states and ultimately draining into the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay, so now let's travel back home to our watershed to see what else we can learn. In urban areas like Omaha, natural vegetation is often removed to create impermeable surfaces like roads, buildings, and sidewalks. While they make it easier to live and move around, they leave us with large areas that keep rainwater and snowmelt from soaking into the soil. Instead, water that lands on these surfaces quickly runs off and picks up a lot of unfriendly hitchhikers like oil, chemicals, pet waste, litter, and dirt, which are then emptied into our streams and the rest of the watershed.
Let's say it rained or the snow finally melted or someone overwatered their lawn. The excess water that doesn't evaporate into the air or absorb into the earth has to go somewhere, so it goes down.
Down the street into nearby storm drains, which drain directly into waterways without being treated or filtered. That water then travels down into a river, and all rivers, in their interconnected way, eventually arrive at their final destination, the ocean. The ocean is always downstream, so when water eventually ends up there, it does so with pollution it picked up on the way. In fact, 14 billion pounds of plastics end up in the ocean each year. That's a lot, but it's something we can prevent with everyone's help.
We need clean water to maintain a healthy earth. 80% of our drinking water in Omaha comes from the Missouri River, and our watershed affects the drinking water of our neighbors downstream. Clean water is necessary for our survival and the survival of the plants and animals in our ecosystem. We need clean water sources to grow healthy food. Most importantly, we want to be sure that generations that come after us have safe and healthy water to enjoy too.
So how can you help protect our local and global waters? I'm so glad you asked. These simple steps can easily become part of your daily routine and lead to cleaner water. Never litter, and if you see litter, always pick it up. Pick up after your dog, sweep your grass clippings into your yard instead of the street, and compost your yard waste. Collect and reuse rainwater to water your yard and garden. Rain barrels are great for this.
Properly dispose of household chemical waste at Omaha's Under the Sink facility, and never ever dump anything down a storm drain. As we like to say, only rain should go down the storm drain.
Most importantly, hold yourself and others accountable to be good stewards of our water and planet. We are the change after all.
And we're committed to protecting our water.
Our water.
Our water.
Our water.
Protege nuestra agua.